and let us all do we can to build a better future.
I fear that we're going to see a repeat of 2020. Now, on the one hand, I'm kind of entertained by this. I'm laughing. The other half of me is saying, oh no, we're going to see two old men fight over a cold bowl of soup that is the United States of America. Our politicians are once again playing this game of, oh, hey, let's enjoy this rematch of Biden versus Trump. Now, to be very clear here, the Democrats are going all in for Joe Biden. And of course, let's face it, Donald Trump is a powerhouse in regards to the Republican establishment. So, of course, he's got his large following. But recent polling data is now showing, and even George Stephanopoulos, was stunned by results of the Washington Post ABC News poll showing Donald Trump beating Joe Biden and concerns about Joe Biden's age. We said that this was going to happen way back in 2020. We said that people were going to be talking about how Joe Biden might be unfit for a second election should he win the primary and go into the general election. We were saying this throughout the entire Biden-Harris administration. Corporate media can do all it can to prop up Joe Biden, but they can't fix his horrible track record. Let's face it, he is the architect of this neoliberal nightmare system we are in. He has been on the wrong side of history, and every time Joe Biden speaks, he is a stuttering and a stammering all over the place. He's showing clear signs of dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever it is. He will be the oldest sitting president in U.S. history should he get reelected. And let's face it, Joe Biden is no spring chicken. This isn't trying to sound ageist or anything, but everything that does have a beginning has an end. We all have a beginning, we have an end. And Joe Biden, at least according to the American people, might be unfit to be our leader, the leader of the free world. I want to pull up this video. It's funny seeing Snuffleupagus get all concerned about this, but we saw this coming a mile away, 2 miles away. Hell, we saw this happening across the Atlantic Ocean.
President Biden pushing back on questions about his age from Stephanie Ruhle as he bids for re-election. It's just one of the big challenges he faces now, more revealed by our brand new poll. Political director Rick Klein here to break it down. And Rick, this poll is just brutal for President Biden.
Absolutely.
It's not like we didn't call it out. Everybody in independent media, hell, all of you watching saw this. And what does corporate media do before I play the rest of this video? Oh my goodness. We didn't see this coming. Oh no. How many reports did we do in 2020 where we were talking about Joe Biden's track record and his age and the fact that he is struggling speaking to people? These are things that cannot be ignored. So it should come as no surprise that somebody like Donald Trump would actually be doing better in the polling compared to somebody like Joe Biden. And let's face it, if the Trump campaign is smart, there is a treasure trove of political ammunition that they could use against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The way they ran their campaign in 2020 was abysmal and pathetic. That's the truth of it. There's a lot to hit Joe Biden with, especially in the fact that the Biden-Harris administration are still implementing a lot of Trump's foreign and domestic policies. Let's see the rest of this data.
Absolutely, George. And you talked earlier about that record low approval rating for President Biden. It's actually 6 points down just since February. And the skepticism over his leadership extends deep inside his own party. Only 36% of Democrats think that their party should nominate Joe Biden for a second term. 58% say they would support someone else or prefer someone else. That's despite the fact that the entire...
Look at those numbers. I want all of you to be strong going forward in this election cycle. Now, we here at Heartlands Media will be covering the primaries, and I am not going to sit on this show and tell you how to vote. That is your choice and your choice alone. I will say I would suggest supporting independents and third-party candidates or supporting citizen ballot initiatives. And again, you all know my opinion. Don't vote Democrat, don't vote Republican, but that's up to you. You make your choice, whatever makes you happy. Because I know we have Marianne Williamson supporters, RFK Jr. supporters, and yes, we even have Republican supporters who watch this show. But look at these numbers right here. The reason why I'm telling all of you to be strong going forward is because do not let these vote blue no matter who sycophants, these blue checkmark pundits, these people with large social media platforms, the liberals, tell you, oh, you got to vote for Biden because Trump. Look at how voters view Joe Biden. He's not strong. He's not level-headed. He's not all there. Never let anyone tell you how to vote, and don't let them browbeat you or yell at you or call you any kind. Just hey, you're a duck. Let that water roll right off your back. You don't need to let anyone talk to you in that way because you're going to make your own choice. But look at these numbers. Don't let these vote blue sycophants bully you or push you around. You push right the hell back because the establishment cannot protect Joe Biden. The facts are out there. Look at his track record. Look at his current track record. Voters are not confident in Joe Biden, and corporate media really can't do anything to protect him. They'll try to do wonderful little pieces on Joe Biden. They'll try and present him in a respectable manner, but let's face it, sooner or later, it all comes crashing down. You could tell a good lie, but all lies have one thing in common. The foundation falls apart.
DNC, and most of the Democratic establishment has rallied behind President Biden. And you're seeing real weaknesses in the coalition that powered Joe Biden to the presidency back in 2020. Biden carried independents by 13 points against Donald Trump. He is now trailing Trump by 9 points among those same voters. He carried black voters by 75 points in 2020. Now he is up just 35. That may sound like a lot, but the fact of the matter is, in modern politics, that is not the kind of number that a Democrat needs to be victorious. And then, of course, that does spill over into the head-to-head matchup, the hypothetical rematch, Trump versus Biden. Right now, a 7-point edge in our poll from in Trump.
Look at that. And by the way, vote blue no matter who. I don't want to hear about how Joe Biden got the popular vote because popular vote means nothing in this country. The Electoral College supersedes everything. So, whoever wins the key Electoral College states wins. And last I checked, Ohio went to Trump not once, but twice. And you know what's interesting? Joe Biden has yet to visit East Palestine, Ohio. He has yet to speak to the people. You want to know who showed up there first, though? Donald Trump. And no, this isn't approval of Trump or support of Trump. It's just I'm speaking the facts for what it is. You would think the current sitting president of the United States would go to his people and be there for them. But no, he didn't show up.
Leading Biden. And in fact, it's an identical number with Ron DeSantis in a head-to-head that might happen next November. That tells us at this very early stage, George, that this race is shaping up a lot more about the incumbent president, Joe Biden, than it is about any of his challengers.
And Rick, as I mentioned with Senator Langford, President Trump, at least right now, appears to be strengthening his hold on his front-runner status for the Republican nominee.
Look, here's the thing. I will be surprised if Trump is not the nominee for 2024. I personally want to see the debates. I want to be entertained, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. And when I was speaking to Farron Frosnick, I believe last year about this on one of our shows, she brought up a very good point, and that is Trump wants to regain control of the MAGA movement. He does not want someone like DeSantis or anyone else in the Republican Party to take something that he created. And Trump has no choice at this point in time, especially when he lost in 2020, to not run for re-election. That's his name on the line. That's his ego on the line. And knowing somebody like Trump, he cares about his name and how he will be viewed forever in history. And unfortunately, vote blue no matter who, people, because he was encouraged by the Clintons in 2016 to run. His name is forever going to be immortal in American politics, whether you like it or not. Looks like we're seeing history repeat itself, folks.
Nomination.
Yeah.
And that's the madness. That's the insanity that we are seeing right now in this country. If you're not angry or scared, you should be. If you're not furious, you should be. Because unfortunately, we're going to see probably two old men fight for a cold bowl of soup. Now, here's the thing. Trump can actually win his primary because, again, not only does he have popular support, but the Republican Party does not have superdelegates. As for the Democrats, though, if Joe Biden is truly going to be going forward and everything remains as it is, not only will he secure the superdelegates, but we'll see him once again face off against Trump. And not only is that disappointing, not only is that pathetic, but it's once again, is this the best we have? The bottom of the barrel? We're seeing 2020 repeat itself in 2024. Two of the worst, most unqualified individuals to run for president of the United States. This is the best we can do. This is the best we have. This is all that we can do. This should show you just how pathetic the entire establishment system is and why we need to break away from it.